Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Miss Yancy and this is my garden. Oh my gosh, y'all, we're officially in fall. I don't know what date makes it official, but I think we're officially in fall because it is cold. Y'all, do y'all see what I am wearing? I got the jacket on and I got a hoodie on under it. So I've been looking at the weather and it seems like we're officially heading toward it's gonna be cold the entire time. For the rest of the time to come, it looks like the temperature is gonna continue to decline. So you know what that means? It's time to harvest everything in the garden. And I am a little bit behind already, but surprisingly, I'm seeing peppers. I'm seeing a ton of stuff that still is green, hasn't fallen off, but I haven't been watering it, so they all look extremely sad. Either way, it is time for me to move them babies into the house. But today, we're not doing the entire harvesting of the garden today. That's gonna be on the video after this one. Right now, we have to harvest our bitter leaf, and I am going to harvest the stem so that I can overwinterize them. I am going to bring all of the stem into the house and keep it by my window during the entire winter so that I can be able to grow it next spring. So that is what you guys will be doing with me today. We're going to harvest the bitter leaf. We're going to harvest the stem. We're going to put the stem in some soil in a flower pot, and we're going to take that baby into the house. So that's what we're here for today. This is going to be a quick video, just trying to get everything that I possibly can, but we're going to start with out of the garden, our bitter leaf. So all right, y'all, let's go.
One look and I breathe.
Alrighty, a lot of you may be wondering, what is bitter leaf? I am going to read what it says on Google to give you the English definition of what bitter leaf is. Bitter leaf typically grows in Africa. It is a tropical plant. It doesn't normally grow in the US. So I was really excited to be able to even find the stems to be able to propagate it and grow it. So here's the Google definition of what the African bitter leaf is. So on Google, it says the African bitter leaf, also known as Vernonia amygdalina, I think that's how you pronounce that, is a shrub or a small tree native to Africa that is used culinary and medicinal purposes. The leaves, stems, and bark of the bitter leaf plant have been used for centuries in traditional African medicine to treat a variety of ailments, including malaria, which is something that we get a lot in Africa from the mosquitoes, and it says diabetes, fever, and cancer. Bitter leaf is also thought to help with insomnia and may enhance fertility. Okay. Bitter leaf is easy to grow at home and is suitable for both beginners and experienced gardeners. It prefers direct sunlight, well-drained soil, and can be found growing wild in grasslands along waterways and at the edges of forests. I live in an urban environment and I did not think I was going to be able to grow bitter leaf in this climate. I know some people in Texas grow it because it is a tropical plant and it requires a lot of sun and heat, but I was able to grow it and now I know how to take care of it. So I want to be able to preserve all of that. Also, y'all, in Liberia, bitter leaf is used on kids who like to suck their fingers. What they do is they grind it up and put it on like a band-aid and wrap it around their fingers. So if they go and try to suck their fingers taste extremely bitter and it's disgusting. So I guess it helped with making kids not suck their fingers and removing that bad habit. Now I'm gonna try it with my kids. I don't think it's gonna work with them because they love sucking their fingers. I tried everything, but we shall see. Now I want to talk about the medicinal purposes. I know that in my country, Liberia, West Africa, the bitter leaf is used for a lot of different medicinal purposes, like if you have a fever, and especially typhoid is one of the fevers that is really plagued in Liberia, and they use it a lot for that. I remember growing up and them using bitter leaf for literally every single illnesses that you may get. If you have stomach issues or whatever it is that's going on with you, if you're really sick, they will literally boil the bitter leaf and you're going to drink it, or they'll cook it in a soup. Bitter leaf, hence the name, is very bitter. That's where it got the name from. Eating it by itself doesn't really taste good. It tastes very medicinal, but when you remove some of the bitterness through like the different processes in which we cook it in, you can cook the bitter leaf without removing any of the bitterness, but a lot of people try to remove some of the bitterness by washing it and just going through like a whole rigorous process of trying to remove some of the bitterness so that it could be a little tasty. But for me, I don't mind the bitterness at all. I truly enjoy it. You can use it as a tea, you can use it in any of your dishes, but just remember it is extremely bitter. So as long as you are eating it with the thought in mind that this is extremely healthy, it has a lot of antioxidants, plants. It's really good for you. So therefore, I'm gonna eat it. That's why I eat a lot of things that are healthy. I don't eat it because it tastes good. I eat it because I know it is beneficial to my body. If you're like me, you wouldn't mind the taste of bitter leaf. But I'm just extremely happy that I was able to grow it here because it's something that I really like the taste of in different African dishes. But with that being said, let's get this party started. Look at what the garden looks like. Look at what the garden looks like. This is the grape plant that I planted the other day. Y'all, look at all the animals that been trying to dig up under there. Remember I told you guys, every time I put mulch down, they assume there's something that I'm trying to hide from them that they want under here. They've been trying to dig it up. Look at all these big feet trying to dig up in here to see what I have under there. Or sometimes the squirrels is over here trying to plant their nuts. Hopefully one day I'm able to grow some of their nuts. This is what the garden looks like. A little tragic, but I'll give you guys a better look at the garden when I am done with this in our next video. So let's go ahead and get started because we don't have a lot of time out here and I really want to propagate these plants. All right, y'all, let's get started. All right, y'all, this right here is the bitter leaf. Very medicinal. Very medicinal. As a matter of fact, my son has been having a cold. I think I'm gonna boil some. They've been getting all these little fevers and crazy things that they're getting from school, so I think I'm gonna boil some and make them drink it. Hopefully they'll drink it. This is where I grew some of the bitter leaf. I also grew some in my garden in the ground. So this one I had it growing in a grow bag right here. So I grew some in a grow bag and then I grew some in ground over there to see which one was gonna do better, and the one in the ground did way much better. And I think it was because it had like a source of water coming from the ground and the roots were able to seek water for itself, whereas in a grow bag I had to constantly water it, and you know that water do not stay in a grow bag. As soon as you water the plants in a grow bag, the water comes out of the grow bag. So you have to constantly water it like almost every day, especially during the hot summer months. So during the summertime, these really struggle. That would be what I would say about growing bitter leaf in a grow bag. During the summer, especially the hot summer months, I needed to water it frequently, and I even have a bottle in here right there. It's a wine bottle that I fill with water, and I use it like a drip system to keep the roots moisturized and just to keep the roots hydrated. The grow bag was getting rid of the water so fast, and then in the summer it was terrible. Like the soil was drying way faster, whereas the in-ground, even though the ground may dry, but the roots are still spread and find some type of water source somewhere. Even if it's still struggling, it won't look as bad as this one. So if you decide to grow bitter leaf, it's totally up to you if you want to grow in a grow bag or not. That's just my experience. I prefer to grow it in ground, but because of the lack of space, especially if you live in like a small area. In here I have one, that's one plant actually. Oh wow, yeah, one plant is actually producing a bunch of sprouts. So this is the main plant right here, and then it has this right here, and this is grown on that, but then also it has this right here as well. So this one main plant is what this is coming from, as well as this one. So that wine bottle is pretty much feeding the water into that one, and then I have another one right here, and so it looks like I only have, what's that, 2, 3. So I have 3 bitter leaf plants in here. This is a 20-gallon grow bag, and I filled it up with topsoil, and I filled it up with leaf mulch. I mixed that with some fertilizers like worm castings and bone and fish meal. I mixed that up, and that's what I grew it in. And then throughout the season, I fertilize, you know, maybe like every couple of weeks I fertilize this plant. I also use a ton of banana water to grow it. That is how I grew the bitter leaf plant. All right, y'all, today we are going to be using our handy dandy basket to get the leaves, and then we're going to go ahead and cut the stems of the bitter leaf. guys, we are done harvesting all the bitter leaf from this plant, and this is it in here. It looks like it's a lot, but it's not that much. Y'all know how greens go, right? When you cook it, it just shrinks. That's gonna happen with this as well, but I'm okay with it. So let me tell you guys how every single stem you see here can grow a whole new bitter leaf tree if you propagate it. And I'm about to cut every single one of them and take it in the house. Another thing, I'm not gonna pull it up from the roots. I'm gonna let it stay in the grow bag, as well as when we go and harvest the other one in the garden, I'm just gonna cut the stem all the way, you know, towards the bottom and let it stay over there. I'm gonna mulch it. You already see I have some stuff in here. The things that I have in here, mulch on top of it. So this right here is actually the remains from the cantaloupes when I cleaned that side of the trellis in the last video so I could plant the grapes on there. Went ahead and I put it on top here, so you know, to use it as a mulch. And then as well as when I am done, I'm gonna gather a ton of leaves from the ground and put it on top here and see what happens, and in hopes that next year they are gonna grow back. So I am probably going to cut these stems all the way down here and then mulch it up and see what happens next year. Now when you are propagating the stems of the bitter leaf, you want to go ahead and cut it diagonally like this. So I'm about to go ahead and cut this one and show you guys what I mean. So I am going to cut it down very low to get as much as I want, and if it doesn't grow, it's fine. At least I got a ton of it. But yeah, you want to go ahead and cut it diagonally, and then you're going to do it like this. There you go. You can see right here it is diagonally. This is the stem right here. As you can see, I cut it diagonally, and I'm gonna cut all of them that way. And then I'm going to actually cut this up into probably 5 pieces, and each of them is going to turn into a bitter leaf tree next year. So everything that you see here is going to be a ton of bitter leaf tree. I'm actually thinking about putting it on my Etsy store and selling the stems, because the stems is what people buy when they want to grow it without going through the whole process of growing it by seeds, which is going to take a little longer. So I prefer this method. It grows it faster, especially if you live in one of those zones where you do not have a long growing season. You want to buy the stems. It's easier to plant and grow, and it grows way faster than starting it from seeds. So I'm probably going to put some of these in my store, but I am going to take them in my house and try to save them until next year and just see what happens. And then I'll let you guys know if it did well coming into next year, then I'll go ahead and put it in my store and let you guys know. So if you want to buy some, and then throughout the year, next year, I'm going to grow a ton of them and then continue cutting the stem for you guys that want to buy some and grow it in your grow zone, so you too can have some delicious bitter leaf. So when you're deciding to grow the bitter leaf from the stem, you want to make sure that you put it into the soil facing in the way where the leaves are going to grow up. And for example, there are different nodes on the bitter leaf where you will see that the leaves are going to grow upwards. Like here, this is a node right here, this is another one right here, this is another one right here, and this is another one right here. So when you are planting this, you want to have at least 1 or 2 nodes into the soil for it to root into the soil. If I chose to put 2 nodes into the soil, so it would start right here, so then you also want to have like an additional 2 nodes to actually grow the leaves. So if with my example, this amount from here going down goes into the soil, then I'll have 1 right here and then 2 right here to grow the leaves. Actually, I think there are more on the other side. This is actually pretty big, so you could really just have 1 node going into the soil and then having like 2 nodes above the soil, so that will actually grow the leaves. I will probably cut it here. As you can see, I'm not sure how many inches this is. This looks like probably like 5 to 6 inches, and that is good enough to grow an entire bitter leaf tree that will also sprout into different branches and become bigger. So one of my plans for next year is to use these. I'm actually going to plant them in ground going along my chain link fence. Like you see in here, this was the jute leaf that I have growing here, and you guys saw how big and tall that jute leaf got. The bitter leaf plant can grow that tall, even though you want to consistently cut it so that it doesn't just grow tall, it actually extend into bushes, so you could get more leaves that way. Whereas if you do not cut it, cut some of the stems off, it's just going to keep growing super tall, and then you're just removing the leaves. I like to cut it so then it branches out into like a bushier type of plant and produces more stems and more bushes and branches to produce more leaves ultimately, which is what you want. This right here can make at least 4 to 5 bitter leaf tree. So imagine how much I have with all these different stems. So I promise y'all, I'm gonna put some into my Etsy store when I get it together, and I'll let you guys know when it's live, especially next year, unless there are some of you that are living in climate that can grow this right now. Let me know if you want some and I'll get it shipped to you. Okay. Let's finish cutting all of this up, and then we'll go ahead and harvest the one in the garden and get going, because the time is going, y'all. Alright, y'all, I am all done. I left this in here, I left that in here, I left this in here. So we shall see next year what happens. Throughout the winter, I'll probably come out here and water it once or twice just to keep the roots, you know, hydrated. We'll see if the winter officially kills it, because I'm sure we're not at our coldest yet, even though it's cold, but this will not be our coldest. We still have January and February to look forward to. All right, y'all, now let's go into the garden and go get the rest. But before we go and get the rest, y'all, look at all of this. Look at all this stem. Look at these really thick ones, and I know that these are the ones that grow very nicely. So I know a lot of you guys will want some of these thick ones, and I will for sure put it in my store when I decide to sell them next year, or when I get the store set up. Alrighty, y'all, super excited. Look at my little bitter leaf. I can't wait to cook it. Alright, y'all, so this is where I have the other bitter leaf growing in the ground, my garden. So over here is where I have the bitter leaf, and then I have a blueberry plant that's growing down there, and then that's the cassava plant that we're about to harvest. Actually, might be harvesting that tomorrow, because the leaves are about to start falling off, and I don't want that to happen because I want to eat them. But all right, y'all, let's go ahead and harvest these, because you can already see the sun is about to start going down. It is right there where you see my finger. Let's hurry up and get this done. But y'all, look at these big juicy stems, and you guys see what I was talking about, like the different nodes on the stems. This is one right here. That's where all the leaves are like growing from. Alrighty, guys, we are all done harvesting all of the bitter leaf, and we cut off basically almost all of the stem that we are going to take in the house and let it overwinter. So that right there, that is my blueberry plant that you can clearly see now. So I'm gonna put a bunch of leaves on here later, and in hopes that it is going to keep the ground warm. What I'm also thinking about is putting some cardboard around it and hope that it will keep the ground warm. Who knows? We have a long winter, and we're just crossing fingers that it's going to work out. Look at these beautiful peppers, and they are cold. I mean, freezing cold. So I know the tomatoes is probably struggling as well. But all right, y'all, the sun is officially about to start really going down. As you can see, the light is pretty much gone. Wow, y'all, look at all this bitter leaf. I wish it was more, but this is good too. Might be cooking it this week. Look at all of this. This is crazy. I cannot wait to get this to you guys. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm gonna pick this off. Alright guys, I'm going to end the video here and actually film a separate video showing you how to propagate the bitter leaf stems, and just make that a separate video because the sun is going down and I will not be able to show you guys all in this video. So watch the next video and I will show you exactly how to propagate the stems and to winterize your bitter leaf plants. Okay, so I'm going to end this video here right now before the sun go all the way down because I want you guys to get a glimpse of the entire sunset, or almost the sunset. Thank you guys for being here with me today. That was a great harvest. I'm so glad that I am even able to grow bitter leaf in my climate. Man, am I so grateful. So thank you guys for watching this. Thank you for being here with me today. Please don't forget to subscribe if you're not subscribed yet, and of course like this video. I truly appreciate all of your support. It means the world to me. And remember y'all, you're exactly where you're meant to be in this moment. Happy gardening. Bye y'all. Alright y'all, the sun is officially going down. See it right there. This is the garden at sunset. Martha Lorraine's signature luxurious body butter is packed with all natural skin loving ingredients such as cocoa butter, coconut oil, shea butter, vitamin E oil, and baobab oil. Whipped to perfection, it is lightly made to be easily absorbed into the skin without clogging your pores. This body butter is free of parabens, sulfates, and synthetic fragrances. Your new bestie.